have you ever felt like totally lost when you're trying to like navigate the healthcare system?
Oh, absolutely.
It can be so confusing. And now imagine facing those challenges while also like battling a serious illness,
Yeah.
something like breast cancer. And then on top of all of that, imagine the system itself seems like it's stacked against you
Wow.
because of your race. It's a sad reality, but for many Black and brown women, that's exactly what they face.
Yeah, it's a stark reminder that, quality healthcare should be a right for everyone, but unfortunately, that's not always the reality.
No, it's not. And that's where this organization, Phenomenally Me Women's Society, comes in. That's what we're going to be diving deep into today.
Okay.
They're tackling this very issue head on.
What I find so fascinating about Phenomenally Me is that they don't just offer, like, temporary solutions. They really combine immediate support with this drive for systemic change.
Yeah.
They're not just helping individuals, they're trying to shift the entire healthcare landscape.
And we've got a lot to dig into today. We've got their mission statement, their pitch deck, even a sneak peek at their plans for an app they're developing.
Wow, an app, that's great.
Yeah, it's pretty cutting edge. Ready to get into it?
Absolutely, let's unpack it all.
Okay, so let's start with the core of their work, their mission. They say it's about championing health equity and human rights for Black and brown women affected by breast cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And the way they aim to achieve that is through providing financial resources, holistic support, and advocacy
Okay.
to eliminate these systemic barriers to care that we were just talking about.
I think that term health equity is really key here because what it means is that everyone, regardless of race, income, zip code, has a fair and just opportunity to achieve their best possible health.
Right.
And Phenomenally Me recognizes that for a lot of Black and brown women, that's just not the reality. And they're actively trying to change that.
And their vision statement really drives that home. They envision a world where every Black and brown woman has that equitable access to the resources and support she needs to thrive, not just during breast cancer treatment, but after as well.
Yeah.
It's not just about survival, it's about thriving.
This vision is ambitious, but it really highlights a critical point. And that is that healthcare isn't just about, medicine.
Yeah.
It's about access, it's about support, and it's about feeling empowered to advocate for yourself.
Absolutely. And they really do back up these powerful statements with action. They offer some very concrete solutions like scholarships for things like medical expenses, education, and even holistic therapies.
Like art therapy.
Yes, exactly. Things like art therapy.
Providing access to holistic therapies is particularly interesting to me because studies have shown that things like art therapy can actually help reduce stress and anxiety in cancer patients. It can help them better cope with their diagnosis and treatment.
Right. It recognizes that healing isn't just physical.
Right.
It's about mind, body, and spirit. They even help women navigate what can often be a very confusing world of insurance.
Oh, absolutely. Navigating insurance can feel like a full-time job, especially when you're dealing with a serious illness.
Yes.
Imagine you get a complex breast cancer diagnosis, and then you have to try to figure out if your insurance covers a specific treatment.
Right.
It can be incredibly stressful, and that's where Phenomenally Me steps in.
Mm-hmm.
They act as an advocate to help women understand their coverage and fight for their right to access the care they need.
Yeah, it's like having a personal advocate right in your corner, someone who actually understands the system and can fight for you.
Yes.
And what really caught my eye when I was researching Phenomenally Me was their commitment to systemic change through advocacy.
Okay.
They're not stopping at that individual level support.
Yeah, this is where things get really interesting, I think, because they're not just putting Band-Aids on the problem. They're really pushing for policy changes that could benefit countless women,
Right.
beyond just the ones they work with directly.
Absolutely. And they're not afraid to call out the systemic racism
Right.
and implicit bias that contribute to these disparities in the first place. They're really using data from their programs and the stories of the women they serve to advocate for policy changes at the local, state, and even national level.
Combining personal stories with that hard data is such a powerful approach because you're creating a really compelling case for change.
And it turns individual experiences into this collective force for change.
Exactly.
And speaking of collective force, something that really resonated with me is their emphasis on community support.
Okay.
They really believe in fostering a sense of belonging and this shared understanding. They want women to feel seen and understood
Right.
and empowered to advocate for themselves and for each other.
That sense of community, it could be incredibly powerful, especially when you're going through something as challenging as battling cancer.
Yeah.
Imagine finding a space where you can connect with other women going through something similar.
Mm-hmm.
Share stories, ask questions, get advice.
Yeah.
It's about knowing that you're not alone in this.
Exactly. And they have these ambitious financial goals to match this vision.
Okay.
Their 3-year goal is to serve 500 women and to give out $1 million in scholarships.
Wow.
That's huge.
That level of financial support can make such a difference in the lives of these women.
Yeah.
Allow them to focus on healing and regaining control. But it does raise an interesting question.
Okay.
Is $1 million enough to really move the needle on health equity?
Mm,
I mean, it's such a complex issue with deep roots.
it is.
So it'll be interesting to see how they leverage these resources to create lasting change.
Yeah, absolutely. It really is a multifaceted problem. And that financial piece is definitely a key element.
Oh, absolutely. And to be honest, a lot of organizations would probably stop there, just focusing on those immediate financial needs.
It is, but phenomenally neat. They don't stop there.
Right.
They have this other program
Okay.
called Health Equity in Action. That goes beyond just the financial piece.
Right. So it's not just like, offering temporary relief. It's about giving women the tools and the resources they need to really navigate life during and after treatment.
Okay, so break it down for this. What does health equity and action actually look like?
Well, one key component is that insurance navigation support we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Healthcare in the U.S. can be a real minefield, financially speaking.
Yeah.
And they act as guides, helping patients maximize their coverage, understand what they're entitled to.
It can be so intimidating, all the complexities of health insurance.
Oh, yeah,
Especially when you're already under so much stress,
absolutely.
dealing with a diagnosis.
Right. It can feel totally overwhelming. So to have someone in your corner who understands that system and can advocate for you, that could be invaluable.
And health equity in action goes beyond just the financial and logistical stuff, right?
Right.
They also address emotional and mental well-being.
Precisely. Yeah. So, those holistic therapies we were talking about, like art and music therapy,
Mm-hmm.
they offer workshops, emotional support groups. It's recognizing that healing isn't just physical.
Yeah.
It's emotional, social, financial, all of it.
It's really a whole person approach.
Absolutely.
And they're also, I notice, focusing on education as well,
Yes.
equipping these women with knowledge. So that could be practical things like financial literacy skills, but also education about their specific diagnosis,
Mm-hmm.
treatment options, survivorship skills.
Yeah, it's not just about helping in the moment. It's about giving them the tools to thrive in the long run.
Exactly. And tying all of this together is their commitment to advocacy.
Absolutely.
Using the data from their programs, including that health equity dashboard,
Right.
and the lived experiences of the women to push for those policy changes.
I'm really impressed with how they combine those individual stories with the data-driven insights,
Mm-hmm.
to highlight the inequities and hold decision makers accountable.
And they're not afraid to speak truth to power.
No, they're not.
Call out the systemic issues that are at the root of all of this.
It's refreshing to see an organization willing to do that.
Absolutely. And they don't just talk the talk, they walk the walk, right? Their call to action is donate, partner, advocate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're inviting everyone to join them in this journey towards health equity.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about the programs, the advocacy. I want to circle back to this app, though,
Okay.
because it seems like it could be a real game changer.
Oh, it definitely is. It speaks to their innovative spirit and how they understand technology can be a powerful tool for good.
We hear about a lot of organizations using apps, but this seems like so much more than just a fundraising platform.
You're right. It's designed to be a comprehensive resource hub, specifically for the needs of Black and brown women.
So walk us through some of the key features.
Okay, well, we talked about that health equity dashboard a bit,
Right.
which tracks those disparities and outcomes, provides data-driven insights to inform their advocacy work.
So they're not just collecting data, they're using it strategically.
Exactly. Data is power, and they're using it to push for policies that can improve healthcare access for so many women.
And it's all right there in the
Right
app.
to your fingertips. Well, they've got the scholarship portal.
Okay.
So it makes it really easy for women to apply for financial assistance, submit applications, upload documents, streamlines the whole process.
Sometimes just navigating the application process can be a huge barrier.
Oh, absolutely. So they're trying to, remove those obstacles.
And then there's the advocacy toolkit, right?
Yes. So this one equips women with the information and resources to advocate for themselves and for broader policy change.
So it's not just about phenomenally me doing the advocating. They're giving the women the tools to advocate for themselves.
Exactly. Knowledge is power.
Mm-hmm.
And they're giving them the knowledge to navigate this really complex system.
Give them a voice.
And then, we can't forget about that community forum.
Right, yes.
That online space where women can connect, share their stories, ask questions, just build relationships with other women who understand what they're going through.
It's so important, that sense of community.
Absolutely, knowing you're not alone.
Okay, so to sum it up, this app is a platform for empowerment, for connection, for driving change.
It really speaks to their innovative spirit and their commitment to meeting those needs in a really impactful way.
So the app sounds incredible, but how do they ensure it reaches the women who may not have regular access to technology?
That's a great question. It brings up that issue of the digital divide, but it is something they're aware of and working to address.
Okay.
So they're exploring a lot of different strategies, like partnering with community organizations to provide tech access, training,
Mm-hmm.
making sure their resources are available in different formats for those who can't use the app.
That's good to hear. I'd hate for this incredible resource to not be accessible to everyone who needs it.
Absolutely, equity is really at the forefront of all their work, including digital access.
Well, before we wrap up, I want to step back for a second and look at the broader implications of their work.
Okay,
Because this isn't just about breast cancer.
right.
It's about health equity as a whole
It really is. I think they're setting a new standard for how to address health disparities
in a really meaningful way.
in a sustainable way as well.
They're showing what's possible when you center the needs of those who are most marginalized
Right.
and use every tool at your disposal to create change: direct services, advocacy, technology.
Yeah, they're demonstrating the importance of that holistic approach that combines direct services with advocacy, community engagement, and proving that it is possible to make a real difference in the lives of people who have been historically underserved.
It's a reminder that we can and we must do better.
Absolutely. When we work together, we can create a world where every woman has the opportunity to thrive, regardless of her race or ethnicity.
Phenomenally, Me is leading the way. They're showing us that health equity isn't just a dream, it's a possibility.
And their story is an inspiration.
Absolutely. Now, I'm curious, what stood out to you the most about Phenomenally Me? I mean, it is inspiring, to see an organization tackling something so complex with like so much heart and so much strategy.
Yeah, yeah. What really resonated with me was it was almost like how seamlessly everything worked together.
Yeah.
Like they really understand,
Yeah.
that like
Yeah.
it's all interconnected,
Yeah.
these issues. And like
Totally.
to create real change, you need a multi-pronged approach.
They don't just talk about empowerment, they're creating systems and resources that actually like give women the tools,
Yeah.
the knowledge to advocate for themselves.
Exactly. And they're backing it up
Yeah.
with those concrete actions, the scholarships, the navigation support.
Yeah.
It's about long-term solutions, not just
Yeah.
short-term fixes.
Yeah, I appreciate that about their work. They're not afraid to invest in those big systemic changes, even if the results, aren't immediate.
Yeah, having that long-term vision is so crucial.
Yeah.
It's about, planting those seeds
Mm-hmm.
for a future where this is just the norm.
Makes you wonder, like, what could healthcare look like if more organizations,
Right.
adopted this approach?
Yeah.
If more resources went towards addressing the root causes and not just the symptoms.
It's a great question. I just imagine, a system that's truly equitable.
Yeah.
Everyone has access to quality care,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of race, income, zip code,
It's powerful.
Phenomenally, Me is like they're giving us a glimpse of what that could be.
Yeah, that change is possible even when it feels like these systems are so deeply entrenched.
Absolutely.
And it starts with organizations like Phenomenally Me who are willing to say, you know what,
Right.
this isn't good enough. We're going to challenge this.
They're fighting for a more judged world.
Yeah, it's a beacon of hope.
Absolutely. It's inspiring.
It's like we don't have to accept the world as it is.
Right.
We can create the world that we want to see.
Yeah, it's a future worth fighting for.
And that's what Phenomenally Me is doing. So as you go about your day today, think about what you can do to support organizations like this, whether it's donating, spreading the word, just having conversations about health equity, because every action, every little thing, it counts.
We can create a world where every woman has the chance to thrive.
That's the power of Phenomenally Me, and that's a future worth fighting for.